Darkness fills the screen before our headlamps ignite, revealing drifting condensation. We descend into a limestone abyss, untouched for ages. A steady voice explains our mission: isolate acoustic anomalies that should not exist beneath stable geological formations. Dr. Ion calibrates the recorder. Myra stabilizes thermal sensors, and Lucas monitors pressure as silence presses inward. Consider this carefully. If sound travels where light cannot, what messages might already surround us below? This chamber was abandoned after 3 expeditions vanished without confirmed structural collapse or recorded emergency signals. Welcome to Mr. Whisper's Official, where unexplained sound becomes evidence and silence becomes something we investigate. Limestone absorbs resonance, forming an acoustic void where even quiet breathing travels farther than expected. Mira reports early sensory distortion, where ordinary vibration begins feeling intentional after prolonged exposure. Lucas activates baseline recording to capture environmental noise before we introduce movement. The first amplified signal emerges, faint rhythmic pulses rising from deep below. The pulses repeat with unnatural consistency, spaced too evenly for random tectonic stress. Dr. Ion whispers the rhythm resembles pacing movement circling beneath solid rock. Mira asks whether something might be responding directly to our presence. The recorder spikes each time Lucas shifts position slightly. We freeze completely, yet the rhythm continues, steady and patient. Imagine the ground communicating in intervals too deliberate to ignore. Dr. Ion classifies it as non-natural oscillatory repetition, pending spectral analysis. Myra documents rising alertness and subtle paranoia among the team. Lucas reverses polarity and detects clustered timing patterns. If pattern implies intention, what exactly is producing this rhythm? The deeper we descend, the silence thickens into pressure against the ears. Mineral formations curve like frozen waves, reflecting sound unevenly across surfaces. Mira detects a secondary signal emerging beneath the pulses. Playback reveals a metallic shriek resembling strained steel. No known limestone fracture produces such clean tonal spikes. Rock breakage is chaotic, but this tone is sustained and narrowband. The shriek repeats, louder, followed by an unsettling pause. Myra steps forward, and the signal intensity rises immediately. Lucas confirms no machinery exists anywhere within mapped structures. Something produces metallic sound where no metal exists. Sonar mapping reveals vast hollow chambers beyond known cave boundaries. Structural geometry resembles corridors rather than natural erosion patterns. Metallic shrieks occur after each sonar pulse. The signal shifts pitch as scanning frequency changes. This indicates adaptive response, not passive resonance. Lights flicker briefly as electromagnetic interference spikes. The silence between sounds feels observant. Dr. Ion orders total device shutdown except passive recording. After prolonged stillness, the shriek returns stronger than before. Something reacts when we become silent. We advance toward newly mapped voids through stagnant air passages. Mira reviews archived recordings of unexplained subterranean harmonics. Lucas aligns their frequencies with our live audio. Harmonic spacing matches structured phonetic resonance. Tonal rises and pauses resemble conversational pacing. Mira proposes linguistic modeling. Recurring tonal sequences appear across separate cave systems. Wind cannot reproduce identical harmonic patterns months apart. The sound emerges layered, almost choral. Could something be attempting communication? Dr. Ion identifies repeating tonal intervals separated like punctuation. Myra insists the pauses resemble breathing patterns. Lucas detects pitch modulation similar to emotional emphasis. The sound appears responsive to continued human presence. Temperature drops sharply around the chamber edges. Thermal imaging reveals moving cold zones. Movement lacks airflow displacement signatures. Myra senses motion without visible source. Thermal activity converges whenever chanting intensifies. Something may navigate entirely through vibration. We review disappearance logs from the 2025 Deep Crust expedition. Their recordings match our pulse and shriek sequence exactly. Mira overlays their final transmission with our live feed. Thermal motion patterns are identical. Lucas detects distortion preceding their signal loss. Frequency compression occurred seconds before silence. The same compression begins forming in our audio. Dr. Ion proposes a sound-sensing biological entity. Such an organism would perceive space through vibration reflection. In total darkness, sound becomes perception itself. Metallic shrieks now overlap layered harmonic chanting. Multiple thermal zones circle us at varying distances. Mira signals for complete vocal silence. All thermal signatures converge toward the central chamber. Sound amplitude increases whenever we review recordings aloud. Attention itself may trigger response. Observation might function as invitation. Mira feels vibrations traveling through her boots. Lucas detects deep subharmonic buildup beneath hearing range. Something large may be approaching. We access the final unmanned probe transmission. Rhythmic pulses form dense temporal structures. Metallic shrieks sweep across frequencies like scanning signals. Harmonics synchronize with probe motor rhythm. The sound mirrors external patterns instantly. Acoustic mimicry may function as predatory strategy. Final seconds compress into overwhelming resonance. Transmission ends with instantaneous silence. The absence feels heavier than any sound recorded. What eliminates vibration itself? Our instruments now display identical convergence patterns. Thermal movement spirals inward rapidly. Harmonic chanting rises in coordinated progression. Lucas confirms waveform match with vanished team's final moment. Dr. Ion initiates emergency ascent. Pulses accelerate beneath our feet. Audio peaks beyond calibration limits. Every sound we made may have revealed us. This is Mr. Whisper's official documenting the listening depths. What truly lives beneath the silent crust of the earth?